Have you ever felt like you were busy all week, yet when you looked back, nothing really moved forward, meeting after meeting, endless messages, constant requests, all leaving you exhausted but no closer to any real goal? And then you ask yourself, where did my time go? I used to be the same. I used to let others fill my calendar, their invitations, their urgent tasks, the little things that somehow consumed my entire day. Until one day I realized what was being stolen wasn't just my time, it was my life. From that moment on, I began to treat time like gold. I learned to protect every hour like a treasure because every passing minute is a part of life I will never get back. Time waits for no one. You can lose money and earn it back, but an hour lost is gone forever. In this video, I'll share the 12 most powerful principles I've learned to help you protect your calendar as if it were gold, so no one else can waste your life for you. Stay until the end, because Principle 12 will be a reminder that may completely change how you live, work, and cherish every day. It could be the turning point that changes your life forever. Principle 1, time is gold. The calendar never lies. I once heard a young man say, "Sir, I don't have enough time." I smiled and replied, "No, you do. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The problem isn't too little time, it's how you use it." We are all given the fairest asset in lifetime. No one has more, no one has less. But some turn their hours into results, progress, and freedom, while others let theirs slip away in meaningless conversations, endless meetings, and mindless scrolling until they forget who they are. Time is like gold. If you scatter gold on the street, others will pick it up, and they won't give it back. The strange thing is, most people don't realize this. They say they value their time, but their calendars tell a different story. Your calendar never lies. It is the mirror that reflects your true values. If you say health matters but have no time block for exercise, then health is just talk. If you say family is a priority but there's no space for them in your schedule, then that priority lives only in words, not actions. And if you say you want to learn and grow but never schedule time for reading or reflection, you're lying to yourself. The calendar is the record of your life. Look at it and it will tell you exactly where you're heading. And the saddest part is many people let others write on their calendars. A message comes in, they reply. A meeting request, they accept. A small favor, they agree. And just like that, hour by hour, day by day, their time is sliced away until they realize they no longer own their lives. Don't let anyone else spend your time bank for you. Every hour is a gold coin. Spend carelessly and you'll run out. Invest wisely and it will grow into progress, peace, and freedom. And remember, this time isn't just hours, minutes, or days. Time is life condensed into each box on your calendar. Every entry is a commitment. You either write it intentionally or someone else writes it for you. There's no neutral space in between. I once did a simple exercise. I took my 30-day calendar and asked myself, does how I spend my time truly reflect who I want to become? The answer woke me up. I saw hours I had spent pleasing others instead of moving closer to my own future. From that day, I began treating my calendar like an investment account. Every meeting, every activity, every decision is a withdrawal. I must ask, will this expense create returns for my future? If you want to know what someone truly values, don't ask them, look at their calendar. And if you're hearing this and realizing your calendar is filled with things that add no real value, you're in the right place. Because next, we'll dive into Principle 2, guard your calendar like treasure, where I'll show you how to turn every calendar block into a fortress that protects your future. Principle 2, guard your calendar like treasure. When I tell people protect your calendar like gold, many laugh and think I'm exaggerating. But the truth is, it's exactly because they don't treat it that way that they always feel short on time. Imagine you're holding a bag of real gold. Would you let strangers take coins from it without asking why never? You'd count every coin, store it safely, and only spend it when it truly matters. Yet with time, most of us don't do that. We let others walk freely into our schedules as if they have the key. A 5-minute call, a quick catch-up, a small favor, and suddenly the day is gone. Not because you're lazy, but because you lack a boundary to protect your time. I call this the calendar trap, the trap of an open calendar. The easier it is to book you, the easier it is to lose yourself. An empty slot doesn't mean you're free, it just means you haven't protected it yet. One of the earliest lessons I learned was this: if you don't guard your calendar, others will use it to achieve their goals, not yours. I've worked with many successful people and I noticed something strange. They all share, they don't have more time than anyone else. They just protect their calendars fiercely. When they say I'm busy, then it might mean they're reading, walking, or simply reflecting. But they still say, I already have an appointment. And it's true they have an appointment with their own future. Start viewing your calendar as a time bank account. Every activity is a withdrawal. You can only spend the hours deposited into each day, no more. Spend wisely, and you build wealth. Spend foolishly, and you bankrupt your spirit. A cluttered calendar is a sign of a hijacked life. An intentional one is the mark of someone in control. I often tell my students, spend 30 minutes at the end of each week reviewing the next one. Circle what truly matters, lock it in, name it clearly. And when someone tries to take that spot, say, sorry, I already have something scheduled. No explanation, no guilt, because you're protecting the most precious thing you have, your meaningful time. Don't confuse busy with productive. Busy drains you, productive moves you forward. A well-guarded calendar helps you achieve the latter. But you can't protect anything if you don't know how to say no. Because your calendar isn't only stolen by others, sometimes you're the one opening the door and inviting them in. Let's move to principle 3. Say no courageously, where you'll learn the hardest yet most powerful art of time mastery, saying no with awareness. Principle 3, say no courageously. I once met a man whose schedule was packed from morning to night. But when I looked closer, I realized very little of it truly mattered. I asked, why do you say yes to every invitation? He smiled shyly and said, I don't want to disappoint anyone, I told him. And because of that, you've disappointed the most important person, yourself. Most of us don't lose our lives to one big event. We lose them bit by bit every time we don't dare to say no. Just a little invitation, a fun meeting, a can you help me request every time you nod, you're saying no to your own dreams. Courageous people aren't those who do more, they're those who dare to say no more often. I've learned that no is an act of love for yourself, your goals, and your future. It doesn't mean you're cold or selfish. It simply means you're clear-headed enough to know if you try to do everything, you'll do nothing well. Have you noticed that we often keep promises to others, yet betray promises to ourselves? We stay up late to finish something for our boss, but cancel the reading session we promised ourselves. We help everyone else, but forget our sleep, our meals, our meditation time. I call that silent betrayal. And it's the reason so many people feel drained, lost, and disconnected from themselves. If you want to protect your calendar, you must learn to say no without guilt. When someone asks you for something, ask yourself, does this serve the future I'm building? If the answer is no, then your next word must also be no. People will be surprised, some will be disappointed, but they'll learn to respect you. And more importantly, you'll learn to respect yourself. Remember, true freedom doesn't come from saying yes to everything. It comes from knowing how to say no to what doesn't matter. One timely no can save an entire week, and one firm no can save an entire dream. If what I've shared resonates with you, if you've ever felt exhausted from doing too much for others while forgetting yourself, then this is the moment to pause, breathe deeply, and choose what truly matters. Subscribe to Jim Rohn Treasures. So each week, you're reminded that discipline doesn't confine you, it frees you. And our journey doesn't end here, because up next in Principle 4, you'll learn the most important lesson, how to keep promises to yourself, so you not only protect your time, but also your confidence and integrity. Principle 4, keep promises to yourself. There's a kind of discipline, few people talk about the discipline of keeping promises to yourself. I've met many smart, capable people. They have goals, plans, and big dreams. But over time, I realized they were missing one thing: they no longer trusted themselves. Not because they failed, but because they made promises and broke them too many times. They said, I'll start waking up early tomorrow. Then they didn't. They said, I'll read 10 pages every night. Then they scrolled their phones instead. They said, I'll exercise, I'll plan, I'll change. But when the moment came, they hesitated. And with each broken promise, a small piece of their self-belief died. You see, every promise you keep to yourself is a brick that builds confidence. Every one you break is a brick that falls from that foundation. Eventually the building collapses and you no longer believe in your own ability. I once asked a student, do you keep promises to others? He said, of course, sir. I nodded, good. Now keep promises to the most important person, yourself. If your calendar says 5 a.m., read that's a real appointment. If it says 30-minute walk, that's a sacred commitment. Don't cancel on yourself just because someone else demands your time. The strength of successful people doesn't lie in how much they do, but in how faithfully they keep their own commitments. When you do what you say you'll do, your mind begins to trust you. And when your mind trusts you, it becomes unstoppable. From that point, discipline stops feeling like a burden and turns into power. Every time you finish what you said you'd do, you prove to yourself that you deserve the goals you're chasing. Don't let your calendar be just a place to write things down. Let it be a place to keep promises. Try this today. Choose one small task and do it exactly as you planned. Because today's small victory builds the foundation for tomorrow's big one. And when you begin keeping promises to yourself, something magical happens. You gain the power to prioritize correctly. Because you now know what truly matters. That's when you're ready to move on to Principle 5. Block time for what matters most, where you'll learn to turn your highest values into time blocks that no one can invade. Because if something is worth living for, it's worth putting on your calendar. Principle 5. Block time for what matters most. Once you've learned to keep promises to yourself, the next question arises. So what should I promise myself? The answer is simple yet demanding. Promise yourself that you'll spend time on what truly matters. I often tell my students, you can't live a great life if your calendar is filled with small things. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they let the urgent steal the place of the important. Emails, messages, notifications, those urgent but meaningless meetings, they sneak between you and your dreams hour by hour. If you don't make space for what matters, the trivial will always fill the gaps. You say health is important, but if workouts aren't on your calendar, they'll disappear. You say family is a priority, but if dinner with your kids isn't marked, it'll get postponed and forgotten. You say, I want to learn every day, but without a specific time block every day, it will remain an empty promise. If something is worth living for, it's worth having a place on your calendar. I remember when I first applied this principle, I took a blank calendar and started blocking time for my core values. Mornings for learning, midday for health, afternoons for deep work, evenings for family and stillness. When I did this, something amazing happened. My schedule looked less full, but my life felt richer. I no longer felt like I was drifting. I began living with intention. Time doesn't come to you. You have to create it. No one finds time. Successful people make time. Try this. Take your planner or open Google Calendar and mark 3 time blocks each day for your top 3 priorities in life. Lock them in as non-negotiable appointments. And when someone asks, are you free? Then say, no, I already have a commitment, because you do with your own future. Once you start doing this, you'll notice a profound change. The important things will stop being pushed to the end. You'll start living by your values, not by the world's noise. And then you'll understand protecting your calendar is protecting the quality of your life. Once you've learned to block time for what matters, there's one final step to turn that time into wisdom. It's learning to pause, to reflect, and to learn from your own schedule. Join me in Principle 6. Reflection converts time into wisdom, where you'll discover how to turn every past week into a valuable lesson so you're not just busy, but evolving. Principle 6. Reflection converts time into wisdom. I once told my students, experience alone doesn't create wisdom. Only when you stop to reflect does experience turn into a lesson. Many people work hard for 10 years, but in truth, they've just repeated 1 year 10 times because they've never sat down to review what they've actually learned. You can stay busy all month, but if you don't spend even an hour checking whether you're moving in the right direction, you'll only go faster the wrong way. Imagine your life as a train ride. If you don't look at the map each week, you might go off course without realizing it. But if you stop, review, and adjust your route, you'll arrive at the right place at the right time. I call this the hour of reflection. 1 hour of reflection can save an entire week from being wasted. I usually dedicate every Sunday to this practice. No phone, no emails, no meetings. Just a notebook, a pen, and a few honest questions. How well did I protect my time this week? Did I use it for what truly matters? What did I learn from my mistakes? And what will I adjust for the coming week? You see, the power of reflection lies in its ability to turn experience into understanding. Without it, we repeat the same mistakes. But when you write, review, and refine, you evolve week by week. Don't think that only the busy succeed. Those who pause to reflect go further. Every week, sit down with your calendar and ask, how many truly valuable hours did I protect this week? What should I do less of, and what should I do more of? Just 30 minutes of this will reveal something profound. You start living consciously instead of just spinning in motion. Time is gold, but reflection is how you polish that gold. Without it, your treasure, your time will dull and lose meaning. And when you do this consistently, you'll see real transformation. In the first week, you'll understand yourself better. In the first month, you'll manage your time better. In the first year, you'll become a completely different person. A person who never looks back cannot go far. But one who reflects, they don't just walk, they soar. And once you start taking time to look back, you'll notice a silent enemy lurking every day, the time thieves. They don't shout, they don't warn you, but little by little they steal your energy, focus, and future. That's why in Principle 7, beware of time thieves. I'll show you how to recognize and stop them, so you not only protect your time, but also your mind and your life energy. Principle 7, beware of time thieves. I once said, not everyone wants to take your money, but almost everyone wants to take your time. And the danger is time thieves don't enter your life with a knock on the door. They slip quietly into your moments. A notification lighting up, a message that takes just a second, a video you plan to watch for 1 minute, that turns into an hour. They're not loud, they're not scary. They just keep pulling you away from what truly matters. I call them polite thieves. They don't make you angry, they make you drift. And when you finally wake up, you realize a day, a week, sometimes even a month has vanished without a trace. Imagine you have a golden vault containing 24 coins each day, representing your 24 hours. Every time you pick up your phone mindlessly, 1 coin disappears. Every time you agree to a pointless meeting, 2 coins are gone. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, a handful of gold blows away. And when the sun sets, you open your vault empty. People don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they let time thieves come and go freely. A meaningless call, a quick favor, an endless scrolling habit. Each is a tiny needle draining your energy. You can't build your future if your days are being bled dry by things that add no value. And you'll never focus on something big if you're constantly pulled down by small distractions. Remember, not every noise deserves your response. Not every request deserves a place on your calendar. Wise people don't avoid all temptation, they simply choose what's worthy of their attention. Every time you say yes to something trivial, you're saying no to something great. I once asked a young entrepreneur, what's holding you back from going further? He said, I get pulled into too many things, messages, emails, invitations, events. I replied, they didn't pull you, you opened the door. Sometimes you don't need more time, you just need to close the unnecessary doors. Start by writing down 3 things that steal your time every day. It might be social media. It might be people who always call asking for a quick favor. Or it might be your own habit of procrastination. Once you identify them, you have a chance to reclaim your life. And once you've identified your time thieves and learned to guard your calendar against them, it's time to rebuild the sacred ground of focus. In Principle 8, Schedule Your Golden Hour, I'll show you how to create your golden hour, a sacred time each morning to recharge your energy, unlock your clarity, and begin your day in control, not at the mercy of the world. Principle 8, Schedule Your Golden Hour. I often tell people, if you give away the first hour of your day, the world will take the rest. The first hour, I call it the golden hour. Not because it happens in the morning, but because it has the power to shape everything that follows. Let me tell you what I discovered early in my career. Back then, I started my mornings answering calls, checking emails, reading news, and I thought I was being productive. But soon I realized I wasn't controlling a single day. Every day I was reacting, never leading. Until I changed one small thing, I locked the first hour just for myself. No appointments, no phone, no social media. I read, wrote, reflected, and prepared for the day. And everything changed. The energy of my entire day transformed. You begin from strength instead of starting from exhaustion. The first hour is your mental foundation. If it's filled with noise, you'll carry chaos all day. But if it begins with silence, you'll carry that strength with you. I call it the shaping moment. 1 hour for reading, writing, planning, meditation, or physical movement. It doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to be fully present and let the world wait for you instead of you chasing the world. I once asked a young student, how does your morning begin? He said, I check my phone to see what needs to be done. I smiled and said, then you're letting others decide your mood. When you start your day by reading, thinking, or writing down your goals, you're programming your mind. Instead of letting the world program you, you program yourself. The golden hour isn't just about time, it's a declaration that you're in charge of your life. Try this one. Choose 1 fixed hour every morning. Call it my golden hour. 2, in that hour, do nothing that serves others, only yourself. 3, do 3 things: recharge, realign, and reinforce belief. Do this for just 30 days, and you'll see the world no longer controls you like before. You won't rush, you'll lead. You won't just react, you'll create. Remember, 1 hour a day for yourself can change the rest of your life. And when you learn to begin each day with calm and clarity, you'll realize another truth. A balanced life doesn't come by luck, it comes by design. Because after you work, focus, and strive, you must also master the art of resting, renewing, and recharging. That's what we'll explore in Principle 9, Balance, Rest, and Renewal, where you'll learn that rest isn't weakness, but an essential part of lasting strength. Principle 9, Balance, Rest, and Renewal. I've seen many people work endlessly, day after day, week after week. They call it passion, but I call it disguised exhaustion. There's a truth I want you to remember. Fatigue is the enemy of good judgment. You can't make wise decisions with a tired mind. You can't live joyfully in an exhausted body, and you can't go far if your heart never rests. Modern life celebrates productivity, but it undervalues stillness. People count hours worked, but few count hours truly lived. I once asked a businessman, "How do you rest?" He laughed and said, "I don't have time to rest," I replied. "Then you don't have time to think. Rest isn't weakness, it's part of discipline. A person who knows when to pause is just as strong as one who knows when to push. You can't pour water into a full cup. Likewise, you can't create love or grow if your mind is overloaded. Let your calendar have white spaces, moments where you do nothing. Not because you're lazy, but because you're recharging for what's next. I always block non-negotiable rest times on my schedule. 1 afternoon each week just for walking. 1 day each month away from work. 1 hour each evening just for thinking, not doing. And you know what's strange? It's in those doing nothing moments that I've found my best ideas, clearest answers, and deepest peace. Rest is not a reward. It is part of the process. Rest isn't what you get after you've worked. It's what allows the work to matter. If you don't schedule, rest your body will through illness, stress, or emptiness. You can skip a vacation, but you can't escape the law of balance. Remember, true strength isn't about how fast you run, but about knowing how to refuel so you can go farther. And once you master the art of balance, you'll notice something wonderful. Clarity in planning is an extension of inner peace. Someone who knows what they'll do tomorrow sleeps better tonight. So in Principle 10, plan ahead. 1 hour of planning saves a week. I'll show you how 1 hour of planning can save an entire week of waste, helping you live proactively, not reactively. Principle 10, plan ahead. 1 hour of planning saves a week. One day a young student asked me, "Sir, how do I stop feeling like I'm running nonstop but not moving forward?" I answered, "Because you're running without knowing where you're going." Many people don't lack effort, they lack direction. They work hard, stay busy all week, but at the end of the month, they're surprised. Why hasn't anything changed? The answer is this: there's no plan. I've worked with entrepreneurs, salespeople, creatives. They're all busy, but only those who take time to think ahead truly make progress. 1 hour of planning can save an entire week of waste. When you don't plan, you're letting others write your schedule. The world will always have things for you to do, but very few of them belong to your dreams. A person without a plan is like a rower without a map. They may row very fast, but they'll just circle in the open sea. Planning isn't rigidity, it's a lighthouse in life's fog. With it, you know what to focus on and what to ignore. Every week on Sunday morning, I hold a thinking hour. I don't work during that time. I simply review my calendar to see what's working and what's not. I adjust. I reorganize. Then I write the plan for the new week, guided by 3 questions. 1-1. What matters most next week? 2-1. Who or what needs to be prioritized? First. 3-1. Which time blocks must be absolutely protected? Just 1 hour and the rest of the week. Runs smoothly on its own. No more chaos. No more reacting. Everything has a place. Every day has a purpose. I call it the power of preparation. The power of preparation is, it creates confidence before you begin. It turns busy days into meaningful days. It helps you react less and lead more. You can't build a great life by accident. You must design it, and the blueprint is your plan. Bạn không thể xây một cuộc đời vĩ đại bằng ngẫu nhiên. Bạn phải thiết kế nó. Và bản thiết kế đó chính là kế hoạch của bạn. Try this. Choose a fixed hour each week to plan. Write down the top 3 things you will accomplish. Cross out everything that doesn't serve those 3 things. Review your calendar and make sure every block has a purpose. When you see your schedule clearly, your mind becomes clear too. Because disorder in your calendar is a mirror of the chaos in your mind. An orderly calendar, a guided life. A blurry calendar, a drifting life. And once you've learned to plan clearly, you'll realize something deeper. Your plan is the outline of your life. The way you arrange your calendar is the way you're designing your destiny. So in Principle 11, design your calendar. Design your life. We'll explore the secret of people who live with vision. They don't just record appointments, they architect their lives one time, block at a time. Principle Renewal. Design your calendar. Design your life. I once told a group of young entrepreneurs, don't just record things on your calendar, design your future in it. Many people see the calendar as a memory tool. I see it as the architectural blueprint of life. Every calendar cell is a brick. Every time block is a piece of foundation. And each small decision in it is building the house of your destiny. Look back. If your calendar is packed with work but empty of learning time, your future will be full of results, but lacking wisdom. If your calendar only has must do and no want to live, then you're building a factory, not a life. Your life is not shaped in broad strokes. It's shaped in small, repeated choices you guard every day. Your life isn't drawn with big lines. It's carved by the small details you repeat daily. A successful person isn't defined by having a grand vision, but by turning that vision into small daily habits in the calendar. They don't just say, I want to be healthy. They schedule workouts. They don't just say, I want time for family. They block evenings to be at home. They don't just dream of a balanced life. They schedule a balanced life. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. If something isn't written down, it's still just an intention. Only when it has a place in your calendar does it become a commitment. Look at your calendar today. Every line, every blank, every time slot is telling you something about yourself. Does your calendar reflect who you want to become, or does it only reflect others' pressures and demands? If not, don't hesitate to erase, rewrite, redesign. Because a calendar isn't stone, it's a tool, and tools must serve the goal. Wise people don't fear revising their plans. They only fear living their whole lives with a calendar that's off course. I set aside one day a month to redraw my life map. I review areas: health, learning, relationships, work, spirituality. I ask, what am I investing enough time in? What am I neglecting? And what do I need to add to become a better version of myself? Because if the calendar is a mirror, then every time you look at it, you're seeing the future. The calendar is not just paper and ink. It is the architecture of your future. And once you've designed your calendar intentionally, you'll realize a profound truth: time isn't just a calendar, it's life. Every block you protect, every choice you write down is another line you're writing into your destiny. So in the next principle, I'll share the greatest lesson I ever learned. Protecting time is protecting life. And if you do that, everything else will fall into place. Principle Shibi: protect time, protect life. I want you to remember one last thing, something that can change how you see time work and your very life. Your life is your calendar. Your life is your calendar. There's no mystery here. Just look at how you use your time today, and I can tell you who you'll be a year from now. A person who protects each hour protects their future. A person who lets time slip by unconsciously will lose years without noticing. It took me many years to grasp this. When I was young, I thought success came from opportunity. I waited for the perfect moment, waited for tomorrow when I have time, but I realized tomorrow never arrives. The only thing I truly have is today and how I use it. Don't wait for more time. You already have it. You don't need more time. You just need to place a higher value on the time you already have. Each hour is a gold coin. Each minute is an opportunity, and every choice is a declaration to life that I am living intentionally. Protect your time like you protect your breath. Don't let anyone take your most precious hours, even good people tempting opportunities, or those just 5 minutes. Learn to be silent when needed, to say no when necessary, and to pause when overloaded. Because discipline isn't harshness, it's the art of freedom. Someone who knows how to protect time can create anything they want: finances, health, knowledge, and inner peace. But someone who lets time slip away will spend the rest of their life regretting what could have been. Look at your calendar tonight. Every block in it is a choice. Ask yourself, does this calendar reflect the life I truly want to live? If not, don't wait. Change it now. Delete what isn't necessary. Write in what matters. And starting tomorrow, protect every block as a piece of your soul. Because when you protect time, you're protecting your very life. When you've gone through these 12 principles, I hope you realize time management isn't just a skill, it's the art of living. Because in the end, you can't manage time. Time keeps passing second by second, minute by minute. The only thing you can manage is yourself within that time. Each principle today is a puzzle piece. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Jim Rohn life isn't shaped by grand moments, but by small habits protected each day. And every time you write something in your calendar, remember, you're not just making a plan, you're laying the first brick of your future. If these principles help you live more mindfully and with more discipline, please subscribe to Jim Rohn Treasures. This is where you'll find more lessons, deep, honest, and powerful, to help you build your life with discipline, faith, and wisdom. See you in the next lessons.